the extent to which legislative bodies adhered to the standards of due process as outlined in the Constitution. The petitioners contend that the impeachment process must align with the constitutional principles of fairness and justice, ensuring that any office holder facing such proceedings is provided with a reasonable opportunity to respond and defend against the charges. This court is therefore called upon to examine whether the procedural safeguards required by the Constitution were observed during the impeachment process, and whether any potential lapses could render the process flawed or unconstitutional. Such an inquiry will involve a careful review of the actions taken by the National Assembly and the Senate to determine if the principles of due process and fair administrative action were upheld. We take the view that, based on a holistic reading of the 2010 Constitution, the political question doctrine cannot oust this court's jurisdiction as granted under Article 165, Sub-Article 3. Article 165, Sub-Article 3 confers upon the High Court the authority to hear and determine questions regarding the interpretation of the Constitution and the legality of any acts or omissions by state organs. This provision underscores the High Court's critical role in ensuring constitutional compliance, even in politically charged matters. The Supreme Court of Kenya in Sonko case supports this position in its holding that impeachment proceedings are inherently political. They do not fall beyond the scope of judicial review. The court stated as follows. It's a fairly long quote. I've given it. In Martin Nyaga Wambora versus Speaker of the Senate, the Court of Appeal also held that judicial intervention in impeachment must be exercised cautiously. While conservatory orders may be issued to protect constitutional rights, they should not encroach upon the legislative process unless clear evidence of constitutional or procedural violations exists. The court underscored that judicial intervention should respect the separation of powers, ensuring that the judiciary does not undermine the functions of elected bodies. South African courts have similarly addressed the scope of judicial intervention in impeachment process, emphasizing the balance